Timmy? Oh, okay. Sorry, I'll just go relax there. Timmy, you were elected to the all preseason Big 12 team. Can you talk about what that means to you?
Yeah, it's cool to get some recognition. Awards are never handed out before the season, so it really doesn't mean much. I think we as a team and myself have a lot bigger goals than a preseason award. You know, we're trying to win championships. I'm trying to help my teammates in any way possible. Just trying to lead to the best of my ability and take us where we didn't get to last year. You know, people think we had a good year, but it's not good enough for me. It's not good enough for our team. So, a lot bigger goals than that. Cool to get some recognition, but doesn't mean much.
With the bigger goals, is that one of the reasons you came back, was just get that unfinished business? Do you have that in your head? Or?
Oh, 100%. You know, I feel like we got a lot done last year, but there was a lot left in the bone. Like, I feel like I came here for a reason and I didn't get the job done last year. So it's another level of hunger. It's another level of growth that I could reach, and I think I'm well on my way. But, you know, we still got lots to track forward to. And, you know, I'm excited for the group of guys we got, and I think with where our mentality is at and the guys we got around us, we're heading in the right direction.
How does Dylan look compared to last year?
Double D?
Now that he's healthy.
Oh, he looks good, man. You know, nobody's ever perfect, but I've seen a lot of growth from Dylan then and now. I think a lot of it just comes from within and knowing what he can do, and he knows that. And I'm one of the guys who's seen him and played ones with him in the lab where he can get real one-on-one, and I can see what he can do, and I know that, and I've always known that. And I think as a group, you know, we just have to feed him with positivity, get him going early, and let him just rock out how he does, because we all know what he can do. But no, he looks good, he's healthy, he's got the right mindset and approach to the game, so that's all we can ask for, and I'm excited to see where his season goes.
What's the chemistry like this season with the new guys coming in? Have you guys gelled, you think, or just, how's that?
You know, I think, I've said this from the jump, I think the people we got here is very important. Not even as far as basketball, I'm talking about people, person, their character. Guys, the 4 or 5 freshmen we brought in, top to bottom, the All-Americans to Preston, the people that they are contribute a lot to our culture. And I think that's big for us. And then going to Jabari and Tyrese, I mean, they're amazing players, but the people that they are, their unselfishness, their charisma, I think it carries us further than just basketball. So, Jalen, of course, off the court, amazing. Locker room, funny. There's a lot going on amongst us all, just chilling and vibing and getting to know each other, but we're so far past that. So I just think the people that they are brings more to the court than the players that they are, because we all know how amazing they are. But I think that's big for the character and our culture, the culture of our team.
Where's the team improved from since the end of last season? Is there 1 or 2 areas where you say we're much better at this?
It's early, so it's hard to tell you all the answers, but I think our approach to the defensive side of the court is heightened to a new height. You know, we were one of the best defenses in the country, but I don't know if that was our main focus all the time. Our culture, and it sounds, I keep saying it, but you know, there's love and there's value in our bench during a game. There's value in a guy being on the bench who's not worried about himself being in the game and still cheering on his teammates. There's value in being able to lead and be a follower. And I think that's a big part of where we're heading in the right direction.
Timmy, when y'all lost to Purdue, you played well against them. When you were able to get away from that and kind of look back on the season, were you able to take some satisfaction in the way you played in the NCAA tournament, the way you played against Kansas, who won the national championship? I mean, were you able to maybe see some progress as the year went on from what you guys, once you got away from it?
Yeah, satisfaction, I don't think is the word. Maybe like clarity. I mean, when you think about it, we beat the champions at home. Like, why couldn't that have been us? You know, I'm very sour about how I played in the Purdue game. I feel like I let a lot of people and myself down. But when you look back at our season, we got a lot done year 1. I mean, it's hard. Everyone says it's hard. You can't do it year 1. We did a lot, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough for the Texas tradition and where we're trying to take this school. We got a lot more on our plate than one NCAA tournament win. So when you look back, you know, a lot of good things happened. And our season could have went down in a lot of different ways. So, I mean, we had some tough losses. Kansas State at home, a couple of tough road losses at OSU. Like, we could have went a lot of different directions. But with all that being said, we still got to where we got to. So, you know, there's always positivity in that, in the reflection of our season. But satisfaction, no. I think that leads to complacency. I think that leads to complacency not just with myself but around the program. So there's a lot to dissect from that. Yes, some good, yes, some bad, but we never let the bad parts of our season take us off the rails to an extent where we didn't get that far, if you know what I'm saying. So satisfaction, no, but there was definitely a lot of good things.
Yeah. Y'all have a really experienced team, of course, a lot of seniors, grad students. What role do you see players like yourself and those players having on, the few younger players like Tyrese that came in this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, like last year we had a lot of vets, a lot of old guys. And sometimes when you have everybody who's old, they're not as always eager to learn. And I think with these young guys that we got in, they're just so receptive to information, and they're not Debbie Downers when you get on them or when you give them to hear a hard conversation. Like, they're young and they're talented and they know that, and they know that they have to learn. So, us vets, we got a lot of them. I mean, me, Cinco, Bari, Tyrese, CB, Brock, Double D, like, you can go around. But I just think it's all us being receptive to each other. I mean, I'm learning stuff from the young guys. Like, I may see something, but they may see it from a different perspective, and I have to respect that, and we have to talk through that. So just the transparency of our relationships, being able to communicate, and being able to receive that communication without bad blood or going the opposite way because of the presentation of the communication. But that's something we've worked on as a program, just being able to talk to each other, and that just goes back to culture.
Anybody in particular benefit from having Hunter in there where he can penetrate, set guys up?
Anybody?
Anyone in particular who moves well without the ball and just converts?
I mean, I think if you put a guy like Tyrese Hunter anywhere, someone's going to benefit. I think we're all feeding off him and his quickness and his energy and his willingness to move the ball, especially early. Playing with a guy like him and the Big 12 Freshman of the Year, like, he could be a lot of things, but he's humble. And he knows what he does well, and he kind of sticks to that. And he's receptive to learning, and because he's a young guy, but he moves like a vet, and that's something we need. We tell him all the time, you're not a sophomore, boy. Like, you're here. Like, you're here, and he's proved himself. And we're just trying to continue to build him up, and y'all see everybody eat off what he does for us. So it's big. He's gonna be a big part of what we do here.
How good's Dylan Mitchell?
His ceiling is higher than this. We had a little event last night. He's jumping over people, dunking, doing all this stuff. There's a couple plays every practice where you just see the flash of, oh, yeah, you see it. He's a young guy. He's got a lot to learn. I wasn't like him my freshman year. God knows that. But you see his potential. You see his eagerness. You see his energy, and that's something that gets thrown on the table when you're a young guy. Like, just coming in and being and get it how you live and fitting in and just trying to get it how you get it and not being overly egotistical or pressing the issue. And he's not that guy. So just that. That's something to get looks over. But for us in our culture, that's huge. And he's a humble kid. He's a good kid. Like, he is young, but he is brilliant, and his limit is through the sky.
2, 3 last ones for Timmy. Go ahead. What are some of the things that you worked on in the off season to hone your craft? Did you get coached by somebody who was in the NBA or somebody who's above you, or what are some of the things that you actually worked on that got you better?
Yeah, I think I reflect a lot, and I watch a lot of film, and I talk to a couple really close people in my circle, and I have a good game and I'm very versatile, but I just have to hone in and quote unquote perfect my craft in a couple aspects. Like, my leading, for one, is something I think I've taken it to a new level, and that's bigger than basketball. That's life. It's obviously I'm using it for here, but that's a whole life skill. But just being able to communicate, develop relationships with my teammates to where we could speak and I could lead and they'll listen. And I'm the same way to them. I'll listen to them. I'm the first one to listen. So that my ball handling, shoring up my loose ball turnovers. I had a lot of on-ball turnovers last year where a guy was just swiping from me. And that's my first year in the Big 12. I can make all the excuses in the world, but it's lack of detail, attention to detail. That, obviously, my shooting my 3-ball, I think that's something that's been a year of growth. And I think I'm comfortable with where I'm at. I'm confident with where I'm at. I don't have to shoot every trey ball, but I'm definitely gonna put them up, and I'm hitting them. So I just have to stay true to myself in that aspect. I mean, I can go on. I can talk about everything I've improved in my game, but that's just I can do that all day. But I just think it's the attention to detail and just trying to hone in on what I can control, and not worrying about rah-rah and all the other stuff. I just gotta do my job and do it to the best of my ability in all aspects of my game. Rebounding, I mean, last game of the season, how many rebounds did I have? I mean, I can control that. So yeah, that's really what it is.
What last one? Dylan, you got a question?
Timmy, through your time here at the University of Texas, we've seen you don about 2 to 3 different hairstyles. So, me personally, I'm just really wondering, are we gonna have the braids as a staple this season, or are we gonna go back to the fro?
That's a good question. I'm a man of many looks. I think that is a part of my personality. I've been rocking the braids for going on 3 months. I think it's gonna stick. I don't got a cut right now, so it don't look good. But we'll see. I'll be switching it up. Thank you, Double D.
You're up top, Dylan.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.